Hey guys, and welcome to another fast guide on TFT. Today we're gonna look at everyone's favorite, YORDLE. After the 6.5 release, we don't have Heimerdinger and Tristana anymore, and now we got CORKI and GNAR instead. We also used to play GNAR with YORDLEs, but GNAR have been removed from the game. The trait is still the same. The first one is, after each player combat, a random YORDLE is added to your bench for free. And when we have every YORDLE on the board, YORDLE's ability costs 25% less to cast. Our two new YORDLEs is probably gonna be the carries, GNAR and CORKI. But depending a bit on the situation and the game, it can either be solo carry CORKI or the carry position is gonna be a split between them. Alright, so far so good. Let's have a look at what items we should look for. CORKI is gonna be a carry no matter what, so let's see what items is best for him. I've been having most success with Blue Buff, Gauntlet and Infinity Edge, but many different items can be used on him. There is a few situations where GNAR is gonna be the main carry and CORKI is kinda a supporting carry. In those situations the items is a bit different. But for now, try to get these items. And since we need 2 tiers and 2 gloves, that's the components that I'm looking for first. Infinity Edge should probably be your third item, and if you can't get that, you can try to go for something like Giant Slayer in situations where they have a beefy frontline. GNAR's main item is Titan, but sometimes I also go Hand of Justice or else tanky items or items that give him more physical damage per seconds. That could be attack speed or straight up damage. Other tank and AP items that doesn't fit on CORKI or GNAR, you should put it on Vex. Vex also is the carry holder for other tanky items. If you get a Chalice of Power, put it on Lulu in between 6 and CORKI. Okay, so let's look at what we're gonna use our gold for. The first thing we're gonna do is get a YORDLE trait, so we get a free YORDLE every time we played another player. The 3 first YORDLEs we're gonna get is probably Poppy, Sick, Lulu or CORKI. And the next unit we should try to get is one that gives us more traits. Blitzcrank is probably our best unit here, because he fits in Scrap and also in Bodyguard. If we can't get Blitz, try to play our best board. That means getting a Scrap, Enchanter, Bodyguard or Arcanist unit so we don't get too far behind on health. The next thing we're gonna look for is to slow roll, and before we can do that, we have to get to 50 gold. That means we don't want to buy any experience and we don't want to refresh our shop. We want to buy all the YORDLEs that we see, and we also want to buy Senna. Senna is the new unit that fits super well with YORDLE in the late game. Okay, so while we're buying YORDLEs that comes up in our shop, Senna as well, and trying to get the items that we talked about, get 50 gold, and now we start slow rolling. And to make sure you know what slow rolling is, always want to have more than 50 gold to get your maximum incomes. That means if you have 70 gold, you have 20 gold you can spend this round. And you're gonna spend it by refreshing and buying the units that you need until you have 50 gold left every single turn. We want to get Poppy and 6 to 3-star, mostly because it's easier to get in the early levels, but also so our board doesn't get completely full of all the YORDLEs that we're getting in. We don't want to end up in a situation where we have to choose which YORDLE we have to 3-star first, where we have to sell other YORDLEs. So we want to get the 2 units to 3-star, and we're gonna do that around level 5. After that we're gonna spend our gold on experience instead of refreshing up to level 7. That means we can have all the YORDLEs on the board and also Senna. Now we just want to slow roll again and get all the other units to 3-star. That was all the basic, and now some quick details. GNAR have the trait YORDLE, but also social, and that's why YORDLEs synergize well with Senna. GNAR and Senna is both socials. If the spot is in the background, you of course want to put CORKI on it. If it's in the front row, you probably want to put GNAR on it. And that's why GNAR sometimes is a secondary carry. So we know now that Senna have the social trait, but she also have the enchanter trait, and that synergizes with Lulu. Another thing is that she kinda can help carrying your game. She heals up your team, but she also do quite a lot of AD damage. That means if you get any items that you don't really know where to go that are AD, you should probably gonna put them on Senna. She also do quite well with attack speed items, and if you get to level 8 and can get another social trait, or even just get a social trait from the arguments, it makes a huge difference for your team. If you get no arguments that give you a social trait, I always go level 8 and get Seraphine. If I get an argument that gives one social trait, I play whatever I feel like, that fits the team best. If I get an argument that gives 2 social trait, which is quite rare, but happens sometimes, I always go for 5 socials, which is super strong. Other arguments that are good for this comp is arguments that mention yordles, attack speed in the background, defensive frontline, healing from damage, refreshing the shop argument, items arguments, and other that are similar to this. And just before we getting into the position, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you could use this. There will soon be a lot of other different comps that I will make guides for. Okay, so you want to put Poppy, GNAR and Vext, all the tank units in the front, and 6 CORKI and Lulu in the corner in the back. Make sure to position right so you don't get hooked by a blitzcrank. Senna and Seraphine also go in the back line if you can put them in the corner, because that's where they work the best. What composition do you want to see a fast guide on next? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. See you in my next guide.